Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Avowed with me, BringItDon. Let's explore the governor's mansion, and then we'll go speak with Giatta. Letter to my son. Ignacy, write this in a rare moment of clarity. Before he left us, your father was a proud, stubborn, wonderful man. Let me offer you a word of advice on his behalf. Those who rule with power are destined to be overthrown by power. Those who rule with heart are destined to be cherished long after they are gone. I can feel the fog drifting back over my thoughts. Goodbye, Ignacy. Hopefully not for long. Your mother, Estel. Shimmering wings, gnashing teeth, shoot through the dirt. Where are my hands, Ignacy? Where are my hands? My hands. My hands. My hands.
I've got a powerful feeling we weren't supposed to see this.
That is the Dream Scourge. Flower of Winter by Maxim Vidaro. The Valiant Republic swindled me out of the Sangreta Ducala, denied me my born right to lead Speranto's government. I would not take such insults lying down. Scan is behind me all along, whispering into my ear, pressing my shoulder with skinless fingers. Together we sowed revolution. Now you can actually taste the fruit it bore. I can only imagine the day Speranto awoke to discover the empty halls of academia, the pillaged libraries. Where did our brightest minds go? Where are the Animancers? They blamed me, yet they had no one to blame but themselves. We journeyed to this frontier in defiance of the Valiant Republics. We remained because our community is a living revolution. Proof that we could thrive without a golden chain about our necks.
Teeth dancing in out of my mouth.
Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to see that either, Kai. The music here reminds me a little bit of Kingdom Hearts. What's the name of the area where you start the first game at? Where you select the sword, the shield, or the staff? I can't recall. That's what the music kind of sounds like.
Ignacy's mother is very ill. Please, don't disturb her anymore.
I can't close it from... Well, fine, I'll go around. Ignacy Vidaro's journal. I have sworn to the people, on my family's honor, that there is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair. If it exists, it cannot touch our lands. When I'm alone at night, I must remind myself of that promise, again and again, even if I must scream it to these empty halls. So why do I feel threads pulling away from the fabric of my community, while I strain to hold them together? It's the old man and his protege, or else my imagination, but probably them. Mother's condition isn't helping my cause. Neither does wine. That is the bedroom key. An ordinary bedroom key found in the governor's mansion. It is unique. So the Valiant Breastplate grants Lesser Bulwark, plus 2% damage reduction and plus 1 additional damage reduction, and Quickness plus 20% move speed. The wrenches of Fiora Messaverino are known for their distinctive armor, They're perhaps not the best attire suited for tromping. We've read all that. We found the boots, I believe. Despite the extra chain and padding reinforcing the armor's weak spots, the armor does nothing to slow the wearer down. Emblazoned on the front of this breastplate is a symbol of Fiora Massaverno, featuring the 5 stars from the flag of the Valen Republics above a symbol representing the Wheel of Reincarnation, in honor of the Animancers of the city. Final Journal of Jonas. My son. Tomorrow I become the effigy. Tomorrow I become Skyn's embodiment on Eora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. For months we met by secret conclave to plot our landlord's demise, all the while working the fields as if our hearts were content. Skyn teaches us to plot with the mind while keeping one's face impassive, inscrutable. Fair fights are for those with armies. The quiet slave is our whetstone, our focus. In his worship, our cause finds focus, clarity, and possibility. Tomorrow, my master chokes on his own whip. By the time you read this, I will be dead. I pray Skyn does not abandon me for speaking of my plotting, but his son deserves to know how his father died. If I volunteered to be the effigy, Skyn would inhabit my body, using this old farmer's simple flesh as a puppet of godly rage. I have been shaved and anointed. Tomorrow morning, I'll be your father in name only. As my manhood will be removed, my nose and ears removed, and my useless mortal eyes will be replaced with flint stones through which Skyn might see the world. My son, I am sorry for the lies I've told you these past few seasons, but Skyn demands secrecy. Even your mother knows nothing of my furtive service to the quiet slave. Curse my name if you must, but never weep for me, for I die for the betterment of our community, to smite our Lord's corruption from the face of Eora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip, for tomorrow I become the effigy. Animancy in the modern age. Animancy is a science both respected and reviled, sometimes by the same person. For all the research done on the topic, we still know so little. Control over life itself, something Animancers have been working toward for hundreds of years. There are no real records of how the practice of Animancy was first discovered. But once a spark of knowledge ignited, there's no stopping its inevitable discoveries. In 2260 AI, Animancers, as a result of their extensive research, successfully contained and transferred a soul. The subject of the experiment, whose name is unknown, was young and wealthy, but infirm. The idea was to move his soul from the dying body and into that of a recently deceased man who had suffered an accident. The new body, bringing only slight decay, would house the soul, giving the man a much better life. The outcome of this experiment resulted in the condemnation and outlaw of Animancy in the Adarian Empire. Again, while we have no true records of what happened, as they were all destroyed after Animancy was outlawed, a journal was discovered, a makeshift confession by one of the participants. Excerpts from that journal follow. 2260 AI, Von Prima 16. It is done, and the gods forgive us for our arrogance. I'm not sure what I was expecting. Certainly not that. What did any of us expect? Still, behind the revulsion there's a sense of pride, something I can't deny. All the research, the studying, everything we worked for. We thought we changed the world. How it's changed. All was in place. The twisted form lying on the table next to its new vessel. The equipment had been prepared. The tinctures and potions all carefully crafted. Every detail painstakingly organized to ensure success. We most assuredly succeeded. The procedure went exactly as it should. The soul, extracted from the old body, held, bound in place to prevent it from moving on. Then the next step, transferred to the fresh vessel. It was beautiful and terrifying. I listened as they spoke the words of binding. I watched the soul move, not the soul itself, of course, but the vapor we used to detect it, as it lowered into the vessel. A gentle luminescence covered the body, and then nothing. Silence. Darkness. I held my breath, afraid that even the slightest disturbance would destroy all our hard work. Then motion. Then, dear gods. Then, blood. How did I survive? I do not know. The vessel rose from the slab and the room he breathed. Every person crowded around the tables exhaled. Some cheered. We had made life from death. We had become eternal. The body closed its eyes and tilted its head, looking for all purposes to be listening for something, or to it. Then its eyes popped open and it moved. Its lips peeled back from its teeth in a horrible expression of fury. It fell on the nearest man, tearing his throat, knocking him to the ground. Then the room erupted into screams, shouts, and a flurry of bodies running, pushing, doing everything in their power to get away from the creature sitting on their colleague. But right before that happened, in the split second before the chaos, there was nothing in the air but a stunned, terrified silence. I heard it, sitting there on his chest, face at his neck, and it was feasting. The Iraqian calendar. Named after the inventor who studied the motion of the stars, Arachios or Rachios, a calendar replaced its less practical predecessors in 2680 AI. The Adirian calendar was steeped in the traditions of its post-tribal kingdom, and included days of reverence devoted to political stations long since rendered obsolete. Included? I've never seen included before. According to Rachio's observations, Eora takes 334 days of 27 hours each to orbit the sun. He divided the 16 months of 20 days each, equally by their seasons. Whether or not it coincided with the Adirian calendar, farms and smaller communities traditionally reserve 3 days for a prayer and preparation between each season. Rachio factored these days into his calendar, as well as those reserved for celebrating the beginning and midpoint of the year. The names of the months and adjacent days of celebration are listed below with Valian translations. New Year. A day to celebrate the arrival of the new year. Of all the holidays, this one is celebrated by most people around the Living Lands and the Valian Republics. Each new year is greeted with a fervent zeal to begin things anew, to start with a fresh slate. Deep Winter, Fonaverno. Late Winter, Taraverno. Spring Dawn, 3 days, and Prima. Used to celebrate the transition of the world, rebirth, and spring. Athasian festivals are especially prevalent at this time, or were prior to the Saints' War. Early Spring, Preprima. Mid-Spring, Majprima. Deep Spring, Fonprima. And Late Spring, Tarprima. Summer Rising, 3 days, Anestu. A period of transition from birth to growth. Many ceremonies are designed to usher children into adulthood take place during Summer Rising. Early Summer, Praestu. Midsummer, Majestu. Mid-Year. A day of reflection and introspection. The year is half over. People who had made promises on New Year use mid-year to assess their progress and renew their oaths. Deep Summer, Fenestu. Late Summer, Terestu. Autumn Falling, 3 days, Analton. Harvest celebrations happen during Autumn Falling if the crops are particularly bountiful. If harvest was small, supplication is given to the gods, asking for a better harvest the following year. Early Autumn, Preautumn. Mid-Autumn, Majalton. Deep Autumn, Fanalton. Late Autumn, Teraton. Winter Dusk, 3 days, and Averno. Winter Dusk is filled with celebrations of life and vigils for the dead. The world is returning to sleep, plants die, and those still alive raise a toast to another year. Early Winter, Preaverno, and Midwinter, Majaverno. Giatta's Agricultural Report. Governor. My research points to one inevitable conclusion. The harvest will fail. Before you ignore me again, read on. Listen. My father spoke of a river of souls flowing through the island. The souls feed our crops and power our machines. We agree on that much. What do you think happens when the river gets polluted? If you don't believe me, look at your own farms. The soil is hollow. Might even have the dream scourge. The time has come to break the bones of the living lands and set them in a more agreeable fashion. It may be Fiora Mastaverno's only hope. We should discuss this in person. I'm confident you'll see reason. Best, Giatta Castel. Anonymous letter. Governor Vidaro. All this talk of the dream scourge infecting the land has grown too loud to ignore. If it was just Quilici, we could see our way past it. Call him senile and the discussion's over, yes? But now Giatta's speaking for him, and you'd be hard-pressed to find an Animancer who doesn't trust Giatta Castel. To put it plainly, we demand results of one kind or another. Let the old man do his research or find some way to discredit him. If you're lucky, he'll discredit himself. What are you afraid of, Ignacy? We wonder. Either way, this has to end. It's tearing us apart. Your father would have put a stop to it by now. With patience, your friends in town. Scanite Scripture. Burn. Feel thy hatred twist within thee. Feed thyself on its bile, sustain thyself on its anger. This hatred, this bile, this anger, these shall be the tools for thy rebellion. Let thine heart seethe. There is no satisfaction in open confrontation. Hide thine hatred, let it grow that it may fester. Make thy plots in secret. The quiet slave stays in the shadows, his face seeks not the light. In darkness doth he work, in darkness doth he move. Rebel against those that seek to control thee. Rebel against those that wish to remove thee. Estel's copy of the Midwife's Memoirs. The title page is inscribed, "To my beloved Estel, the celebration of your quickening. I know how our Queen of Birds comforts you. Helia's wings bear you both on safe winds in the months to come. With love, your Maxim." We have read this scripture, just not the, that forward in the beginning.
I'm sorry you had to witness that spectacle. Giatta is a spirited Animancer, but she can be intolerable at times. Whatever you may think of us, I welcome you to Fiorme Siverno.
You really don't believe this crisis is as bad as it looks?
I believe the nature of the Living Lands is unpredictable, and animancy is our best chance at getting it under control. But what Giatta wishes to do is more dangerous by far than what she's trying to solve. Quilici wants us panicking over what he can't even prove. If there's a threat to Emerald Stair, it's that old man and his fear-mongering. Don't waste your time on him.
You mind if I work with Giatta?
Be my guest. Take her away from here. As far as I'm concerned, she's your responsibility.
This Nimdude wouldn't see a Balrog coming if it did a little dance right in front of him.
If there's nothing more, I have a city to run.
Did you know Elder Rosanna has been leaving food out for the deceased?
The short answer is yes, I'm aware. And I've tolerated it, up to a point. We are a community of Animancers. Among other things, we have a healthy respect of the dead. I have no wish to anger the departed, but then again, my first responsibility is to the living.
You're more open-minded than I expected.
The dead have a strong connection to the beyond, and therefore animancy. They can make our work very, very difficult. Best not to upset them.
I wanted to give him the food. Oh well. I still give it to the grain guy, I guess. Why is your mother locked up in her bedroom?
I knew I heard someone snooping about. And you have the gall to confront me like a common criminal. This conversation is over.
Does she have the Dream Scourge?
That is not a topic for discussion. I'll hear no more of this. You go about your business, and I'll go about mine. Try not to involve yourself in our affairs.
Farewell for now. $26 doubloons.
Welcome to my fine establishment.
Who is the guy I can talk to in the city? Oh, it's not a city guy? Where is, I want to fight the spirits, though. So maybe I will do this quest anyway. At least fight the spirits. Let's go talk to Giatta first. Where did I say the grain merchant was?
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giatta, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego.
Then why didn't anyone speak up with you?
Because they're cowards. To them, I'm just a cautionary tale. A fallen Animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Messiverno, I'm hardly even an Animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone.
You stuck to your principles. That's what matters.
I wish I could take credit for Giatta's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long.
How so?
I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of Animancers.
Not everyone in Adir hates Animancy.
We will set aside our differences for the greater good, won't we, Giatta?
Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days.
As people keep reminding me.
Sorry. I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by...
Stay focused. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge.
Of course. Excuse me, it's been a long day. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the Animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast.
So it's a professional consultation we're after. I can handle that.
Glad to hear it. Your education should come in handy. Monto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fior. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name, and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge.
What do you expect to learn?
I'd rather you find that out for yourself. Whatever it is, I won't be disappointed. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Got.
I have a lot of packing ahead of me, but I've earned a short rest.
We'll talk later, Giatta.
I'm counting on it.
You ever think, what if I wasn't a ranger?
Of course. What would you do?
I'd be a flower picker. Ah, maybe a coward.
Oh, I know. A rum brewer. Ah, be a rum brewer.
But I'd make no money,
And why not?
because we drink it all.
I should made it sound like there was someone here. Oh, maybe I need to go back up and around. Wait, can I?
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
Seems like it's beyond this door. But I think this is the edge of the map, right? Well, I don't know. Once a good time as any to go to camp and talk to my companions, and equip a shield, and possibly upgrade this mace. I think I'll use this mace for a while. Hey, speaking of while, so what are the upgrades? You can afford it, so we have Earth Rocker. Power attacks deal moderate stun to nearby enemies versus low. And World Anchor. A successful parry slows the attacking enemy and roots them in place for 4 seconds. Oh, okay, the wrong side. Yeah, punching duty seems like the better option. Both in name and effect. Alright, so I'll start breaking down the white stuff and selling the blue stuff.
You know, I've heard dueling is popular in the Valiant Republics. You wouldn't think a public argument could feel as brutal, but I'll be damned if Giatta didn't draw blood.
It was excessive. Well, I don't know. Sometimes it does. Yeah, I'm surprised no one else backed her up.
I wish I could say the same. Living landers can be contrarian and combative. That's what sends a lot of us here in the first place. But it's still hard to swim against the tide with your own people, especially when it means getting them to face a hard truth.
Sometimes you have to take a stand, even if it costs you.
This is what I like about you, and Giatta. She knows who she is and what she believes. She's got more clarity and conviction than I had at her age.
She has more clarity than you have now.
Hey, I am a willing victim of my own delusions.
Sometimes you have to cut ties. A home that compromises you isn't worth returning to.
Can we just talk about something else?
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O.
Hey, don't worry. We're talking about Giatta's situation.
Right. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Anyway, this can't be an easy time for Giatta, but I'm glad to have her on our side.
We'll talk about something else for a moment.
What's on your mind?
Just like Marius asked for. I seen Captain Aelfir and Fjord Messeverno was unexpected.
And troubling. What was it she said? The Steel Garrote will ensure the safety of Aediran interests?
From what I've seen, the Steel Garrote will do more harm than good to Aediran interests.
They aren't going to make you any friends, that's for sure.
That Aediran spy mentioned a Steel Garrote operation, too.
Yeah, he did. Stay sharp. A storm's brewing. And better if we can find it before it finds us.
You've been to Emerald Stair before.
It's been years. It was always green and overgrown, but I don't remember it being quite this...
aggressive.
Yeah. Something about Emerald Stair has always been unsettling. Everything in the Living Lands grows wild, but it's different here. Those giant roots, whatever they are, I don't remember them being quite as big or close to the settlement.
It's as if the land is pushing back, like it doesn't want us here.
Well, there's a thought to keep me up at night.
Oh, the Living Lands definitely hates us. That's why people like me even get work.
I don't like reading that much into things. Maybe that's why I'm still a bachelor.
Is that what it is? That wasn't even on my list.
Either way, when I wake up with night terrors, I'm waking you both up with me.
Alright, I've got questions about you.
So did my commanding officers.
That's all. I'll leave you to it.
Get some rest, Envoy.
Envoy? Well, that was interesting, right? The woman arguing about the crops failing? Standing up for what you believe against authority. I can respect that. Of course, my method would have been run away under the cover of night, never to return, but yeah, this works for her.
You don't seem like one to avoid conflict.
Conflict, no. Consequences for my actions, oh yes. Anyway, there's clearly more going on here than a bunch of Animancers sitting in dusty labs doing whatever they do all day. Beyond that, nah, I can't help you. Call me when you're back to facing real danger. Right, changing the subject.
Let's talk about Emerald Stair.
Ask away. Right, changing the subject. If I must.
Alright, let's mix it up. I like him without his hat, but we'll give it a shot. Again, just to mix it up. No exit here. I'll have requests outside the city currently.
The Adra stirs, a crackle of light in a withered field.
Don't you have better things to do?
We recoil. We are unsure what we said.
There's a dream scourge around. It's not comforting to hear voices, is it?
Murmurs of madness, fright. Our touch cushions you like a shell. We wilt, we gnaw with hunger now. What has come of this place?
The situation in Fiora is dire. Someone needs to help them.
A hand of generosity, or a gauntlet of steel. We feel them. They bend and hone the essence of the earth. They draw from our veins like a well. What are these rituals?
Finally, a metaphysical topic I can teach you about.
Eons have passed. We do not recognize these strange machines. A harvest grows, the dead rise. What do they hope to achieve?
They want to learn the secrets of life and death.
Lift the shroud from the wheel. They build walls in their hearts. Why do they not share what they make?
Many people don't trust Animancers.
The hound cannot recognize itself. It growls at its own reflection. Should we fear it too?
No knowledge is good or evil. What matters is how we use it.
Fire that burns the forest feeds the soil with its ash. We have learned much. Dream of soaring wings in your repose.
Did you hear that Giatta was sent into exile?
Wonder if she needs a new research partner.
Or maybe a test subject?
We could do both. Anything to work with the great Giatta Castel.
Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend?
You do realize that I understand you perfectly.
Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giatta partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
Why are you talking at me like I'm some kind of specimen in a jar?
It's just that we've never met a godlike before. This is a big day for us.
Giatta must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giatta needs to finish her research. Deal?
Everything. Why haven't you told her this already?
The information wouldn't be worth anything if we just gave it to her freely, now would it? Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go round the wheel, you might not get so lucky.
I don't know. I guess I'd like to be some kind of mushroom.
Ooh, Ooh, good answer.
My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us?
I owe you nothing.
No need to take offense. We merely seek to learn.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone?
Hopefully people remember me in the ways I've touched their lives.
Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giatta wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Some good news, please, for the love of the gods. Yeah, just give me the bad news.
There's no cure for the Dream Scourge, much in the way that there's no cure for an avalanche.
Giatta will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Of course. We may be able to learn about the Dream Scourge through the essence contained in Adra.
Precisely. A godlike and a scholar, too. Incredible.
Indeed. Just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge.
Not that we'd ever be interested in such research, of course. How droll.
One more question. What do I do about the entity tethered to my soul?
An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable Animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh sake, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell.
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have dozed off there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed?
Well, if it isn't my favorite godlike.
I wish I knew how it felt to be as blessed as you are.
Yeah.
Emerald Stair has seen better days. With any luck, the turning of the seasons will favor us.
Giatta wants your opinion on the Dream Scourge.
Giatta Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town?
Banished was the word he used. Probably to make it sound official.
That's our governor for you. Self-righteous even in his own ignorance. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo.
A revenant. Revenants are the mindless undead who hunger for living flesh. Some are drawn to anything rich with essence, as long as it can be devoured and absorbed. Deprived of nourishment, they will eventually degenerate into skeletons. Let me guess. Silvo isn't a cow or goat.
Silvo is one of my revenants, my oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put the poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come.
Sounds like you've been through this before.
Whether you're raising cows or corpses, every farmer lives with death.
Any connection with what happened to Beatrice?
Silvo is on a strict diet, but I suppose he could have gotten into the crops when my back was turned. You never know with these rascals.
Especially if they're drawn to essence. Where did all these corpses come from anyway?
Outsiders and travelers down on their luck. You'd be surprised how many people want to sell their bodies to Animancy.
Say what you will about mercenary and military life. At least your obligations end at death.
Anyone else see a downside to giving monetary value to corpses?
This is a good forever home for the undead. Better than some crypt, anyway. But sometimes we have bad days.
Would you be interested in buying my future corpse?
Really? Oh, I've always wanted a godlike for the stables. Deal! You've made me a very happy Animancer.
Make sure she doesn't try to collect till after your death.
I'm not dragging your corpse back here from some ancient ruin, I'll tell you that.
Once you've dealt with Silvo, we can finalize the arrangements. And that should cover everything. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy. My farmhands are very affectionate. Feel free to pet them if you like.
I dealt with Silvo.
Poor Silvo. He was a bright young revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace.
Are you gonna be alright?
I'll be fine. I've lost so many revenants over the years, and I'm always such a wreck afterward. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen.
You haven't shared these findings with anyone.
And end up like Giatta. No, thank you. The corpses, they need me. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say.
Fascinating. I'm sure Giatta will be interested to hear this.
Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giatta are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock. Before I forget, here's a down payment on your body. And here's your collar. Try not to lose it.
Pleasure doing business with you.
You're going to love it here. Hopefully not for a while, though. Envoy, a pleasure as always.
We'll talk later.
Come back soon.
Alright, Revenant Bellcaller. Grant service beyond death. Summons a Revenant to fight with you. Bellcallers are traditionally worn by farm animals. This was made for a walking corpse. The bell ensures that the submissive undead never wander far from their owner, unless they're seeking punishment. For the extra resolve, but... oh, we leveled up as well. We have 2 points available. Ooh, I want that. Oh, cool, we got it. Alright, so stunning blows, power attacks with maces and two-handed hammers deal plus 25% stun. Can't do the next one yet. Let's do Barbaric Shout. A let out a fearsome roar that interrupts enemies and empowers you against larger foes. Weapon attacks become uninterruptible and do a higher stun. I like stun. Absolutely. And I think I'm doing Resolve next. Alright, 2 more things this episode, and then we'll wrap it up and continue questing next time. With some Fog of War, I think just north of where we're fast traveling to, then we'll go to the Truffle Farm and take care of those spirits. So I want to run up this way, clear that out, and then take a right. Oh. I just use the D-pad. Well, that's what I get for not paying attention. Did I go up here last time? Glad we had to come back here. Dirty key. This ornate key is well worn and covered in a smattering of dark, rich soil. Gosh, it's a whole horde of them.
Your armor's too weak here. On your right! Hey! Over here! Quit moving! Good work!
Nice job, everyone.
Well, imagine that. I've gotten sidetracked again. I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound like me. But there's a first time for everything. Not really sure how that guy died. Remember, I think that's when I shot in the face with the arrow, which, you know, should answer the question how he died.
Next one's mine. Right flank. Another win, but who's counting?
So I think what I'll do is I'll check out each one of these locations. I'm not going to leave the food because I think that's irresponsible. But I can at least get the experience of fighting the creatures at each location. I think what I'll do next time is try to clear out this whole area from river to waypoint. I think that'd be a good, we might even get more done, but that's a good start. So, on that note, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.